Well, hello, welcome to DIY Design by CCW, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 of my favorite Glam Christmas DIYs from the last 3 or 4 seasons. And I'm going to start with this silver Glam DIY set. Now, this set was really simple to make. Basically, I used paint for the base. Now, because I wanted to use a silver glitter and I wanted it to have a certain look, I painted all of the pieces first with a multi-surface paint. I only used 1 coat, and I used black instead of silver so that it would give the effect that I wanted. Now, if you're new to this channel, first of all, I want to thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you see something that you like and you decide to subscribe. If you're one of my faithful followers, again, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Now, some of you may have seen these DIYs before, and some of you may not have. So basically, I'm going to show you an overview of how I created each of these sets or each of the DIYs. Now, if you want to see the full video or any of the videos, you can always go down in my description box and click the link. Now, in this set, I created some storage pieces as well as a vase. If you're new to the channel, I love to do storage pieces, you know, things that have lids and can be used for different purposes, just because I hate to just create decor that I can't use. So that's the reason. So you'll see, if you follow the channel, or if you start to follow the channel, or if you already follow the channel, then you know that everything I do, I always create a lid, typically with every set or lids. Now, in this video, or in this the clips that you're going to see today, I'm not going to show you how I made the lids, but I will show you basically how I put all the pieces together. And here you see me putting the finishing touches on the vase. Now, if you do want to see how any of the lids are made, again, you can go and click the links in the description box so that you can see the full video. All right, so now that the pieces have dried, the paint is dried, I'm going to go ahead and apply some glitter. And I'm mixing up a little bit of glitter here in Mod Podge, and then I'm also going to sprinkle on some glitter. Now, when you're doing something like this, you always want to make sure that you use the Mod Podge gloss, because it's the only one that really dries completely clear. And then I'll let you, watch me do this part of applying the glitter to each of the pieces. Then I'll come back when we get ready to add a little bit of embellishment. Okay, so the one thing that you always want to do in a case like this is you want to go ahead and seal that glitter, even if it's crushed glass, whatever it is. And if you do that, you're not going to get that fall. Your piece is going to last. So that's what you saw me doing in the previous clip there, using a little Mod Podge gloss sealer to make sure the glitter was locked in and sealed. Now, the other thing that I did is I painted the rims of the pieces with silver paint, as well as the top of the vase. There you see the top of the inside of the vase with the silver paint. And then once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and start adding my embellishments. Okay, so now that the pieces are completely dry, I'm going ahead and adding a little bit of embellishment. Now here you see I'm using a little twisted, it's a beautiful rhinestone trim, but it has a nice little braided twist to it, as well as this additions trim that you see me adding there. Now all of this trim comes from Joann Fabrics. That's one of my favorite places to buy this type of trim. And some of these are iron-on trims, and you know what? You can catch them on sale. Joann always has coupons, and you can kind of get this stuff for a steal. So what I do is whenever they have it on sale and I have a coupon, I go and buy in bulk. So there you see I've added the herringbone twisted trim to the top, and I've added a couple rows there. And then I added another piece that I'm going to go, actually I think I end up taking one piece and going straight down the center of the jar just to give it a focal point. There you see me doing that. And then I'll add this, the brooch that you see. Now those brooches again come from Joann Fabrics. They actually come 3 in a strip, and then I cut them and cut them into 3 so that I could use them. Again, very inexpensive. You can find them at Joann Fabrics, and I'll leave that information in the description box. Now, the glue that you see me using is E6000 Quick Hold. It's a thinner fusion. I can't talk today. It's a thinner version of E6000, and it has thinner consistency is what I mean to say. But it also has a very quick hold, and it's really good for using if you use it on trim. Typically, I will use regular E6000 for other applications where I want a little more durability. So once this part's done, and I'll add the same look to each of the pieces, and then it'll be time for the final reveal. Okay, and this is how the set turned out. I really like this set. I've used it. I believe I may have made this in 2022, and I used it a lot that year. I used it last year, and I will use it again this year. It's held up really well. There's a close-up of the lids, and again, you can go and click the link if you'd like to see how I made the lids, but it was really simple process. There's a close-up look at the pieces, and they really look beautiful in just the right light. Now, would I do anything differently if I were gonna make this set again? Probably not for this set. It's held up really well. I really like it. I don't know that I would change anything if I were going to make it again, but easy and very affordable DIY that you can use for the holidays, and hopefully you'll decide to make it for your home. So this next set, this is one I made last year. Now this is another twist on the glitter app and Mod Podge application, but now for this one what I did is I used another multi-surface paint. This time I used a red multi-surface paint, and basically I painted the bottoms of all the pieces, and I painted the top or the rims of all the pieces. Then once the paint was dry, I came back with a Mod Podge paste. Now for this set, I do really like how it turned out, but if I were gonna make it again, I think instead of leaving the glass part clear, I probably would have used maybe a silver paint, at least a coat of silver paint, and I think that the glitter would have looked a little better. At least that's my thought, but I'd love to hear what you think when you see how the pieces turned out. So again, here you see me just applying the multi-surface paint. Now, of course, once this paint dries, I will go ahead and seal the paint, which is what you see me doing here. Once the paint is sealed, and here I'm using the Folk Art Select Seal Ultra, and it's a glossy finish. That way I know that my paint won't chip. And I poured a little bit into a container, and now I'm just brushing it on. Now, the multi-surface paints, you're not supposed to have to seal them, but I've learned, after doing this for a few years, that I'm better off to seal all of the paint. If I can, because again, I like these pieces to be very durable. I want them to be able to be used anywhere in my home, whether it be my bathroom, my vanity, my kitchen, or wherever. So I always try to make sure that I seal the paint. So here you see I'm beginning to apply some rhinestone trim. Now this is a closed chain wrap rhinestone trim, as well as another iron-on trim. The closed chain wrap, you can purchase that if you like from Favormart or in my Amazon shop, and I have links for both down in my description box. As an Amazon affiliate and an Favormart affiliate, if you decide to use the link, that does help the channel a bit. Now, once I applied the glue, now here you'll see I'm using a mix of the regular E6000 as well as the Quick Hold E6000, just to get the right hold for the piece. And then once I do that, I'm going to be coming back and mixing a little Mod Podge and glitter and adding a little bit more to the piece. Now, I did say that one thing I probably would change is I would paint the glass. If I did not paint the clear part of the glass, I probably would have just left it clear and not use the glitter. But you let me know what you think at the end. All right, guys, I'll let you watch me work for a little while, and then I'll be back when we get to another part of the DIY. Okay, so now that I'm going to go ahead and use the Mod Podge. Again, this is the Mod Podge gloss, and basically what I did is mix a little bit of Mod Podge and glitter, and this is an ultra fine glitter, by the way, into a little paste, and I'm applying it to all of the clear glass. And then once I do that and I seal that, I'll go ahead and start working on the mirror, because this set does come with a mirror. Okay, so to assemble the mirror, I'm using a technique that those of you who follow my channel have seen before, but if you're new, what I like to do is use cake boards when I'm building my mirrors or my vanity trays, and then that way I can put as many cake boards or as few cake boards as I want in between the mirrors. It gives the mirror extra strength. And here I'm going to be using oval shaped mirrors. These oval shaped mirrors come from Favormart, and I'm going to trim out. I didn't have cake boards in the right size, so there you see me cutting them, tracing them out, or in the right shape rather. I'm using 12-inch cake boards, and then I'm going to cut them down to the oval shape, and then I'll begin assembling the mirror. So to assemble the mirrors, you'll see that I'm using E6000, and I'm using the quick hold. Now I'm placing one mirror on the bottom. When I make these trays, I typically like the bottom and the top to have a mirrored surface. That way, if I ever want to use the mirror or display the mirror on top of a glass or reflective surface, the bottom looks really nice. And basically, I'm applying that glue in between each of the layers. And there you see I've applied the top mirror, so that now I can begin, or rather, I guess this would be the bottom, because now I'm going to go ahead and glue on my legs. Now, typically for my legs, I just use crystal dresser knobs, and you can find those lots of places. They sell them at Home Goods. They sell them at Home Depot. You can also order them in my Amazon shop as well. And I do have this particular, I do believe this set came from my Amazon shop. And I chose this one, because they had the flat bottom and they kind of went with, the look I was going for. Now, typically, again, I'll use regular E6000 to glue on the legs to make sure that I have a strong hold. Now, also, in order to cover the edges of the mirror where you can see the cake board in between the layers, I'm going to use more of this decorative rhinestone trim and basically just cut that to size and glue it on. Now, typically I use a mix of regular E6000 as well as the E6000 Quick Hold in this application. That way I make sure that my trim stays put and that it never comes loose. So once I do that, you'll see that I'm going to add another little focal point to the mirror to try to basically tie it into what I'll do with the pieces. And then this set will be finished and we'll be ready for the final reveal. Okay, and this is how the set turned out. You know what? I do like this set, and I do think it's something that would certainly make, a nice gift or some nice decor for Christmas. There you can see that I went with the clear lids instead of the mirrored lids for this set. Those are made out of acrylic discs. And again, if you want to see how the lids were made, please go and click the link in the description box to watch the full DIY video. Now again, what I would change on this is I would probably paint it with a little bit of just a sheer coating of some silver paint, probably something in the Treasure Gold family, before putting the Mod Podge and glitter on. But other than that, I do really like this set, and something I'll certainly make again, I think, at some point with a couple of changes. Okay, so now we're going to look at the next DIY, and this one is the Champagne Silver and Red Christmas set. Now, the mirror was from a different DIY, the mirror that you see there, but we'll go over how I made the set or put the set together. Now again, all these pieces, everything in all of these DIYs, as far as the glass pieces, everything is thrifted. And if you're going to do this, make sure if you're painting glass that you clean it with alcohol. If I didn't say that before, also make sure that you're keeping your brush strokes as level and even as possible, and that you're using a brush that's rated for acrylic. Now here I'm using a candy apple red paint, and it's a multi-surface paint, that comes from Folk Art. Now this paint, it has a much richer pigment, so you typically will only need to use maybe 2 coats, occasionally 3, depending on, how opaque you want the piece to be. And then after painting the bottoms of all of the pieces, I'm going to switch to, and you can see that I've done that as we start working on the vase, to a beautiful champagne color. And that's the name of the color. It's called Champagne, and it's made by Folk Art. It is a treasure gold paint. Beautiful color, and I've used it lots of times for different DIYs, but I do like the contrast here with the red. So here with this paint, because it is a little more translucent, to get the look that you want, you typically are going to have to put at least a couple of coats. And I do believe I put 3 coats of paint for this particular DIY. All right, so, and then once I get everything painted, the paint has been, I've made sure that the paint has dried. Then of course I'm going to come back and seal the paint. I don't remember if I show you that in these clips. I don't think I did, but you always want to seal your paint. And again, for my sealant of choice, as far as the paint, is the Ultra Sealant made by Folk Art. Now here I will go ahead then and add some decorative trim. Now this is a plastic trim, but it looks like a gunmetal fabric, and it does come from it comes from Joann Fabric. And it comes in 3 shades, at least the last time I checked. Now I could have got this in a more muted tone, but I decided to go with the silver, just for the contrast and the pop. And you'll see here in a minute that I'm also going to use a little bit of this rhinestone trim, and I'll go ahead and add another piece down the center for that dramatic focal point that I like to create for all of my pieces. And there you'll see off to the side that I'm going to be using those same red crystals that I used on the second DIY. And those red crystals are beautiful. I may use them again this year because I do have a few of them left. They actually came connected, and I cut them apart so that I could use them the way that I'm using them. And I'm also going to use some decorative brooches. So again, using my favorite glue for this type of application, you'll see that I'm using the E6000 Quick Hold to apply all of the different trims. Now, in terms of lids, what I did for these is just use candle jar lids, the kind that come with the Libby's candles. I didn't actually make any lids. I just used those, but I painted them, and I added, of course, some decorative knobs to the lids. But that's it. So I'll let you watch me finish up these pieces, and I'll come back when we get to the final reveal. Okay, so this is how the set turned out. You know what? I really, really like this set. I am using this set right now. I use it in my second floor guest bathroom. It's just really serves the purpose. Great for the holidays, and the jars really do come in handy. I do like the lids. Again, repurposing those candle lids. They were just going to be thrown away. And I think for the cylinder vases, I probably paid about 25 cents each for those at the thrift shop, and maybe $1.50 for the vase, or less than that, at the thrift shop. So all in all, I really like that DIY. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you some of my DIY ornaments. Now, these were made, I believe, in 2022. Basically, I just picked up some of these clear ornaments from probably Michael's, I think. I think they had it, when I bought them that year, they had the best price for the clear ornaments, but you can also buy these at Dollar Tree. So I honestly can't remember because it's been a little while, but they may have come from Michael's or they may have come from Dollar Tree. Either way, very affordable. So here you see me using some various paints. Most of these paints are Treasure Gold brand paints, and I'm actually painting the inside of the ornaments. I don't want to do the outside. I want to keep the outside looking, I wanted to have sort of a glassy like finish, and I didn't want to, have the paint on the outside. So I thought this technique would work, and it really did. And these pieces I've had since I made them. I used them the first Christmas. Then last year I made some more, and I just added to the set. And I do believe the last video I'll show you the ones that I made last Christmas, and I do plan to make some more for this Christmas and just continue, the set. Well, anyway, this is a set, and these are different than the ones I made last year, but when you see them all together on the tree, they do work. But again, with this, you want to take your time. Just shake the paint up first, then pour some of the paint inside of your ornament, and then kind of shake it around until the inside of the ornament is coated. And there you see I'm shaking some of the excess paint out of the ornament. Now, one thing I learned after making this the first year is the best way to let these dry is to turn them upside down. So maybe if you could get some paper cups or some sort of disposable, Dixie cup or something like that, turn the ornament upside down so that there's any excess paint in there, it will drip out into the cup. It will dry really evenly that way, and you won't have to repaint anything. If you lay the ornaments on their side to dry, then the paint might pool in one space, or it might pull away from the side, and you'll have to go back in and touch it up. So here, after the paint has dried, you can see that I'm now adding some trim to the ornaments. Now, the trim that I'm using here is that same trim that you saw me use, and I believe it was the second DIY. And I'm just gonna, in each of the ornaments are gonna look a little bit different. Now, I'm not gonna show you each ornament, but just kind of give you the general idea of what I did. Now, I worked with 3 different colors, 2 different shades of gold, also a shade of silver, because that's usually that's my theme. Around the holidays, I usually go with a silver and a gold mix. So that's why I wanted to go with those colors. And I do really like how these turned out. Now, I did make another set of ornaments probably way back in 2020, and I do use those as well. It was the first time I tried this type of, doing the paint on the inside. But I find that each time I do it, I kind of perfect the technique. And each year, to me at least, they've gotten a little bit better each time I make them. So here you see me doing the paint again for the silver ornament. And in the end, I think I made 5 of these that year, and 5 or 6 maybe at the most. And each one, as you'll see when we get to the end, is a little bit different. So I'll go ahead and let you watch me finish up these ornaments, and then I'll come back when we get to, the final reveal. If you have any questions or anything or comments, please be sure to let me know. If you would make an ornament like this or make ornaments like this, let me know. I'd love to hear. Do you like these? Do you like how they turned out? When you see the final reveal, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so now you'll see that I'm going to do a little something different for each of the ornaments. Here I'm adding a glitter, sort of a glitter mix, and I'm mixing some of it with a little bit of crushed glass, because again, I'm going with a silver and gold look for these ornaments. And you'll see that I'll paint on some Mod Podge. Now, a trick when you're doing this, if you're going to use Mod Podge, and if you're going to paint it on a round, something like an ornament or something like that, what you want to do to make sure that whatever it is you're putting on adheres or holds and doesn't fall off before it gets dry, you want to do one side or section at a time. So in order to get this to look the way I want it, what I did is just put a little bit of Mod Podge in each of the little sections, and then pat on, basically sprinkle on and pat on a mix of the crushed glass as well as the glitter, and basically I just kept going around. But what I would do is let each little section dry a little bit. Now do one half, then let that dry, and then come back, flip it over, and do the other side. And you'll find that you won't have to reapply the glitter or the crushed glass or whatever it is as much. And everything will stick a little bit better to whatever it is that you're making, or you're applying the crushed glass, glitter, whatever it is to. Once the Mod Podge dries, then everything should be locked in, but I still would come back and spray the surface with that the clear sealant that's made by Mod Podge. And again, always use gloss in an application like this. The satin and all the other finishes will dry with a little bit of a film, and the gloss usually dries clear. Okay, I will stop talking here and let you watch me work a little bit, and then I'll be back. Okay, so for each of the brooches, what I did is finish off each, or rather each of the ornaments. I finished each of them off with a brooch, and you'll see how that turned out in the final reveal. Also, if you want to get, what you want to also do is take the little hooks, that of course I removed from the ornaments before I started painting them. And for this, what I did is just add ribbon to each so that I can easily hang the ornaments from the tree, or on the tree rather. And then once that's done, it'll be time to take a look and see how the ornaments turned out. Okay, this is how the ornaments turned out. I know I said that I really like the ones from last year, but maybe these are my favorite. Actually, now that I see them again, I can't wait to unpack these and put them on the tree. I may even make some more of these this year because, again, really have enjoyed them. I wish I had made more when I made this set. But if you make these, please make sure, if you do this DIY, that you spray these because you want to make sure that they last, and use that sealant to lock in that crushed glass. And if you do that, you're going to have these for a long time. So again, I really do like them. I like how they turned out. And I have to think about what I want to do this year. Now, these are my ornaments from last year, and I called these the Diamonds and Pearls Christmas ornaments, obviously because I used diamonds and pearls for the embellishments. Now, in terms of the painting technique, I did exactly what I did last year, or rather in 2022. What I did is I used a few different shades of basically the same type of paint. I used a metallic paint. Most of it was by Folk Art, and of course all of it really was by Folk Art. And some of it was the Treasure Gold, some of it was just regular Folk Art metallic paints. But little tip, if you do this, don't put too much paint inside of the ornament. You might be tempted to do that because you think, well, I'll have to shake it less and I'll get the coverage a little bit faster. But actually, it will take longer for it to dry, first of all. And sometimes the paint, the longer it takes to dry, the paint may start to pull away from the sides. Also remember that when you're drying these, have some Dixie cups or paper cups, some kind of disposable cups that you can sit the ornaments in upside down while they're drying. That way the excess paint, if there's any in there, it will drip into the cup and everything will dry uniformly. Again, I learned the first year that if you don't do that, you might have paint maybe pool a little bit, in one area rather than drying evenly like you would want. So here you see I'm going ahead with the second ornament. Now I think I did maybe 6 of these this year, just like I did the year before. And just like I did the year before, I decorated each one a little bit different. So I'll go ahead and let you watch me finish up the painting, and then I'll come back when we start to add some embellishment to the pieces. Okay, so now I'll start adding a little decorative trim. So you'll see that I went a couple of different ways with the trim. I think this first one here, you'll see that I kind of crisscrossed the trim. And then I think I did a different shape, went in a couple of different directions on some of the others. But I'm using, as you can see, a pearl trim. One has pearls and rhinestones. The other has just plain rhinestones. And then what I did around, around the neck of each of the pieces, I added a little bit of 2mm closed chain wrap. That way, when I put the clips back on it, or the hooks back on it, so that I can hang it from the tree, I would have that little bit of bling around the top of the ornament. And here I'm just making another one, and kind of as I was going, I'd go in one direction for one and then change it up for the next ornament. For one, I would basically take the rhinestone and use that one first, and then for the second one, some of them, I would basically use the pearl trim as more of the focus trim. And then we'll move on to the next part of the DIY. Okay, so just like I did for the ornaments that I made in 2022, I'm going to work with a little Mod Podge here. And again, this is the gloss Mod Podge, because it's the one that dries clear. So here you see I'm going to be painting some sections and then just adding some glass glitter rather than using the crushed glass. Now this glass glitter is really beautiful. It comes in different shades, from rose to silver to gold, and you'll see that I'm going to kind of mix it together so that I can get that gold and silver look that I had with the ornaments that I made the year before. And I'll just keep applying the glass glitter, and when I'm done, I'll go ahead and add a little bit more embellishment, such as a brooch. And for this one, I used all of the brooches either have pearls or rhinestones or a combination of that to kind of go with the theme. And what I did is I found some things on clearance. I found a pair of earrings that were on clearance, just took the back off of the earrings and used them because I liked the way they had a little teardrop pearl hanging from the earrings. And hey, they were only a couple of bucks, so I thought I would use them. Again, just like with the crushed glass, you do want to make sure that you seal this glass glitter And I've used this glass glitter on glass as well. It really is pretty, but again, make sure that you seal it so that it will last for you. And there you see how that one turned out. And that actually was the earrings that I found on sale. They were missing the clasp, so I took the back off and used them for my ornaments to so that I'd be able to attach the ornaments with the tree. I didn't want to use ribbon for these, so basically a dollar store pearl ribbon that I had, and I went ahead and just cut that, and that's what I used so that I could hang the ornaments on the tree. And okay, I'll be back when we get to the final reveal. Okay, so this is how the set turned out. And you know what? I think I like this set too. My favorites though would be the two ornaments in the middle, the ones that have the like fan sort of, that one right there. It has the little fan shaped ornament with the pearl teardrop. Those are my favorite. And I think I really like the ones from the year before. But I'd love to hear what you think. Would you make these? Do you like these? The ones from the year before? Do you not like them? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And do you have a favorite of these 5 DIYs that I've shared with you today? Also, just want to thank you so much for following the channel. If you're new here, I hope that you'll decide to subscribe today. I want to wish all of you a very, very happy holiday season. And like I say at the end of every video, I can't wait to see each and every one of you in another video. Have a wonderful day or night. Bye-bye, and thank you for watching.